Well, obviously the firm's had awards in the past, and Keith is very closely connected with the firm, having led it for very many years. So this adds to that. It shows that he's been doing important things outside the business as well as within it.
He thoroughly deserves it. He deserves it, A, because in the business world he's a highly respected person. He's a gold standard person. In politics, he's proved himself in Leeds City Council to be an honest and a great servant of the people of Leeds, who was in there for one reason only, to serve the public, not as some are in, to serve themselves.
It's a sort of salt-of-the-earth guy that should be awarded something like that from the Queen.
He's somebody that's put so much into the community, into good causes, into supporting the city that he's from, and I think something like this he will see as rightly a proud honour, and it's it couldn't go to a better person in my opinion.
I think he's pretty chuffed about it, really. He probably wouldn't say so, but he's had a long career, a few different strands to that, and I'm sure he's very pleased that that's been recognised.
Outwardly, he'll be incredibly modest. Inwardly, he'll be bursting with pride, and rightly so.
And it pleases me beyond measure to see the OBE going to someone like Keith, compared with where it's going in some other cases, where I wouldn't have given them a handful of rags, much less an OBE.
I couldn't think of a better person to get it, have an award like that. I mean, we see people that it don't mean an awful lot to you in the newspapers getting these awards for what I think are doing their jobs. Keith, this isn't Keith's job. This is way outside his own job.
It's obviously once in a lifetime. Totally surprised. I feel well rewarded, and I'm very conscious all the time that anything I achieve is due to the help and support and loyalty of the people around me. It isn't a one-man band or a one-man job. It's a series of people over quite a few decades.
The businessdesk.com did its Masters Awards. The toughest award to give of all of them is the Yorkshire Ambassador, because how many people put more into other things than their own business? Most business people are so focused on their business that they don't have time to put anything back into the community, into charity work, into just generally being part of the city or the region where they're from. And I think with Keith, he's always had that very good balance between working for Redmayne-Bentley but equally putting a lot back into Leeds and Yorkshire.
At any given time, an organisation needs a strong leader, particularly when things aren't going too well. And many years ago, probably 20 years ago, Heart Research was going through probably a difficult period, and Keith was at the helm at that time, or came to the helm at that time, and made a significant difference. People can give money to charities. It's time from the right people, the right sort of people. Keith has obviously got connections in Leeds and used those and has put Heart Research and made them a fairly significant charity, medical charity now.
We're often at head-butting range and in arguments, harsh arguments and hard going. But we always knew when we were dealing with Keith Loudon that he was an honest man, and the integrity shone through, and it has through almost everything else he's done. He was also a very, very good Lord Mayor. He became the man of the people when a very senior stockbroker, and in my view very wealthy, but he became the man of the people.
I think Betty and I set the standard that if we'd said we would do something, we would do it. Some Lord Mayors say, yes, we'll go to the Brownies Tea Party, and when there's a chance to do something much greater with Councillor Brownies, no. That was not a thing we did. If I said we were doing it, we were doing it.
He didn't show ever any condescension. He was always treating people as equals and as people to be respected. And as a result, he gained enormous respect from the people he met as Lord Mayor.
I think he's absolutely integral to the success of Redmayne-Bentley, and I'm not just talking in Leeds or in Yorkshire, I'm talking nationally. It's a nationally recognised name. You only have to look at national media to see the Redmayne-Bentley name, and without Keith's energy, without his enthusiasm, without his ideas, I don't think that name would be as big as it is.
And I think we're at an extraordinary point in the financial world, in the stock exchange world. Starting the 1st of January in the coming year, we've got one general election, perhaps two general elections, Russia's currency in difficulty, China's economy not too good, and the natter of Europe all around. But there always has been challenges. They seem very large at the moment, but the market will go on as it's gone on. I think the cheerful thing is that the British economy is proving more resilient than many of our competitors, and a reasonable flow of the wind, and we'll do all right.
A great start for 2015. We obviously hope it continues, that Keith obviously continues, but that the firm also prospers.